A brief overview of Lumio, and by no means is this everything that you can do with Lumio, but it is an alternative way to present your content. And as I show you the things that you can do with it, hopefully you can get some ideas sparked. If you are in a room with a smart board and you see the small little smiley face icon in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you can click on it and perhaps get started with Lumio. Now, when you click on the little small smiley face, you will be prompted to sign in like this. You'll see smart, you'll say welcome back, they'll sign in, and since I already have an account with my Google account that I've had for many, many years, and I can just log right on in and get in there. You would have to actually establish a free account, which will give you free access to Lumio and all of its wonderful accoutrements for 30 to 45 days. And after that, you'd have to pay for it. Lumio cost, or it used to cost, $100 and something a year. And with the age of the pandemic, it's now $59 a year. Woohoo! And SPCC will not allow you to use your professional development money for it. I promise you, I have tried. Now, when we click over here, you'll see there are these three tabs along the top. They're very important tabs. This gray one here on the right side is training. Once you get into Lumio, you would want to click on that and click through every training video that is offered there. There are thousands. Maybe you don't want to click through all of them. Then we have these Explore Resources tab. There are hundreds of thousands of resources that have already been curated and created here. I will tell you that many of them are quite juvenile. This is a K-12 site heavy, not a lot of higher ed resources, none at all. We got to be real creative for ourselves. Now, the Add Activities place is where I'm going to show you the money today. Now, with adding content, you do have the option of downloading PDFs, PowerPoints. I have loads, and I do mean hundreds of thousands of notebook files that I've created over the years. When you click on Import Resource, you can go to your local storage, which would include flash drives, whatever you have on your personal computer, school computer. And then the library that you're going to create and curate here in the cloud in Lumio would be My Library. That's what they're talking about there. Now, again, you can import PowerPoints from your textbooks, whatever you have. Now, YouTube videos. When you choose to embed a YouTube video, and maybe I'll embed one called 25 divided by 5 equals 14. I find it hysterical. So I'll click on it and I'll click add. Now, before I add this video, I do want to get on my soapbox and tell you, most of the time when you add YouTube or you click on YouTube or you use a YouTube link, you're going to be inundated with ads, not in Lumio. I don't know what deal they struck up with YouTube, but no ads play during your video. So if your video is something about weather or clouds, I'm here trying to show you how not to divide 25 by 5 because it does not equal 14, but it's quite funny. When this video plays, it will not play with ads. And that is a wonderful feature of Lumio that I find quite impressive. All right, so now I can choose to add another page. Now it takes me right back to my adding content screen where I can add Desmos. Desmos, as all math teachers know, is a free graphing calculator. Desmos is fully integrated into Lumio. So if you are showing an example of graphing, say, an exponential function and an absolute value function, you want to see the solution, you can quickly click on Desmos and just say add or finish, and the next page will be a graph for Desmos. You can simply graph whatever you like. You don't have to interrupt your lesson, close out whatever you're presenting, go to a website. It's already in your lesson. All right, now I've added by clicking on this plus button. You can also add by clicking on these 3 little dots below each box here to the side. So if I click on those 3 little dots, I can add a new blank page. I could add a duplicate page. If I wanted to duplicate Desmos, I could duplicate that. Let me show you. So if I do duplicate page, now I've got 2 Desmos graphs. And while I'm in this editing phase, I can change the order of, what I've got in here. So maybe I did something and it's at the end, but I want it at the beginning. I simply move it around like it's a deck of cards. All right, so now that I'm over here, you'll notice along the top there's a pointer finger. I can actually import photos. I could take snapshots. Like, let's click on this. So if I've already got images on my desktop I want to load up, or maybe I just want to search out, they say, and again, math teachers can't spell. I'll be the first one to tell you. All right, so we go here, winning at live. I don't see anything I want, but maybe I would. Maybe I want to search for stars. And they'll show me some pretty pictures. If I like it, I can just pull it over here. And there are my stars. The Milky Way. And it's spinning around. How lovely. I didn't realize it was animated. And it'll also give me the source if I want it. But that's the Milky Way. And that's how we add web links and how we add images if we wanted to add it to a blank page. Now I can come back down here. Now right here we've got a new page. Now they've already got templates. And I love to use the templates of graphed and lined paper because nobody brings graph paper, and most of the time, they do bring notebook paper, but I like being able to write on a neat screen and not on like a white space. So I'll click here, and they'll give you a lot of different backgrounds. So I would choose this one. If I didn't want that pink margin, I could choose this one beside it. If I wanted to go back to kindergarten and get those big, thick lines where you first learn how to make block letters, I could see how that could be used in the kindergarten classroom. We've got graph paper. They've got some really hexagonal graph paper. The only kind of paper they don't have here is polar graph paper, but I'm sure in the coming months they will add that as well. So once I have picked all the paper that I want, and it's just the lined paper evidently, maybe I'll get a piece of graph paper, I'll add it. And if I am in note-taking mode, I will come over here and just hit duplicate this page. So that before I put text on this, before I type on it, before I write on it, I've already got a duplicate page. So I don't have to go back down there and say add page, but it is easy to do so. So I've duplicated that. And this A here allows me to put things like I can write on this. And I can change the size of that, the color of it. Now when I click on this, double click on it, and I click on the color wheel, now it looks like all I have are these four, but a recent development with these little ellipses dots, I now have the entire color wheel. So if I want all the oranges, all the pinks, the purples, the blues, I can add anything I want and change it up, make it darker, lighter, greener, more purple, more red, whatever. And I can highlight and change that color. I can also leave this as a blank page. Now, I'm going to keep on adding just so you can see the additional things that you can see here. Shout it out. This is a way to completely engage your class. There are a lot of students in math classes that can't stand math and they don't want to say anything. And maybe with this, anonymous, or you can make their names appear, it's up to you as the instructor. You can ask them, do you understand this concept? What is the definition of elimination? How do we do Gauss-Jordan elimination? So you could type that on here and it would give their responses like sticky notes on the wall, like an entrance ticket or an exit ticket with post-it notes. And they could contribute via text or images. And they could do up to 3 or however many you wish. I usually just let them do about 1 or 2. And you can show their names or hide them. If their names are hidden, it will appear as shapes or different colored triangles, squares, circles. So it is still shapes. So you can optionally add text, or you could just leave it as a blank board, like a graffiti wall, and just allow them to speak. Or you could just say, what questions do you have right now? And it's all just a comprehension check. It's kind of scaffolding their learning to make sure you're not leaving them behind. All right, next. All right, classic or custom. Now, with classic, like I said, they'll just start appearing. They won't immediately start typing at once. They have to get used to this, but you could also customize and have your own little graffiti wall. You could take a picture of a New York skyline in the 1990s when graffiti was all over the place, and this will be how it will appear. And if you click on finish, it's there ready for you. Now, we're just in editing phase right now, so you don't really get to see how it looks until it's actually put before you. All right, so that's a shouted out activity. And then we have a response. This is the way to do an immediate formative assessment, kind of like giving a quiz right in the middle of your lecture. You could ask them a multiple choice question. You could ask them a true or false question. Kind of like a form, but not necessarily as cumbersome in the creation. You click on response here, and it might even be the same. You click on multiple choice. Now for math, folks, I hate these types of softwares because if you go over here to type, it's not a QWERTY latex type of a keyboard where you can start typing x squared, x cubed, the square root. So I love this little mountain range, which allows me to take an image of a problem and stick it right here. And then I can take an image of the answer if I have multiple choice answers. Or if I didn't want to do multiple choice, I could change it to true or false. Or I could change it to a multiple answer where they have to pick the boxes, if it's multiple answers, still multiple choice. Poll or opinion. What do you think about the new president? And then short answer, where their answer would be in paragraph form. I don't understand this concept because I never learned how to multiply. And then you can just add the question and it will be right there for them to do individually on their screen. They must have their device with them. They can access this software using their cell phone, using their tablet, using their computer. And I'm just going to discard that.